So I got on a ship even though it was risky. The ship set sail on September 1st, 1659. At first, the weather was nice, but soon a terrible storm hit. The wind howled, the waves crashed, and for 12 days we could do nothing but let the storm push us wherever it wanted. One day, a sailor shouted, "Land!" But before we could get excited, our ship crashed onto a sandbank. The waves slammed against the ship, and we thought we would all die. We had a small boat, so we climbed into it and tried to row to shore. The waves were huge, and suddenly a giant one flipped our boat over. I went underwater and thought I would drown. But after a big wave pushed me forward, I finally felt land under my feet. I ran as fast as I could toward the shore before another wave could drag me back. After getting hit by the waves a few more times, I finally made it to land. I was bruised and tired, but I was alive. I looked around. My ship was broken far out in the water. I had no food, no shelter, and no friends. My heart sank. I was all alone on an island. What would I do next? When I woke up, the storm was gone and the sky was clear. The ship that had crashed was still standing upright in the water. It was not too far from the shore, and I wished I could go to it to get supplies. I walked along the beach and found our boat washed up on land, but there was a big river between me and the boat. So I gave up for now and decided to try reaching the ship instead. At low tide, the water was calm and I could swim close to the ship. It was partly broken, but inside I found dry food, bread, cheese, and goat meat. I also found rum to drink, but I had no boat. How could I carry my things to shore? I found wooden planks and tied them together to make a raft. It was weak at first, so I added more wood to make it stronger. After much hard work, I had a sturdy raft. I loaded it with food, bread, rice, cheese, and dried meat. Tools, saws, an axe, and a hammer. Weapons, 2 guns, pistols, swords, and powder. Rope and nails. I carefully pushed the raft into the sea and floated towards the shore. The tide helped me, but suddenly the raft got stuck on a sandbank. I almost lost everything as the raft tilted. I held on as hard as I could, and luckily, the rising tide lifted it again. Finally, I reached the shore safely with all my supplies. I climbed a hill to see where I was. To my sadness, I saw that I was on an island, all alone. There was no land nearby, only 2 small islands far away. I was scared but also relieved, because there were no wild animals trying to attack me. I saw birds everywhere, but I didn't know which ones were safe to eat. That night, I built a small hut using wood and boxes from the raft. I stacked them around me to keep me safe from animals. I knew the ship would not last long, so I had to take everything I could before it sank. The next day, I swam back and made a second raft. This time, I found more tools, nails, a grindstone, and metal bars, extra guns and bullets, sails, ropes, and clothes. I made several trips to the ship, bringing back more supplies each time. On my final trip, I even found gold and silver coins, but I laughed because money was useless on an island. Then one night, a strong storm came. In the morning, I looked out and saw the ship was gone. Now I needed a safe place to live. I found a little hill with a rock wall on one side. It was a good place because it was high up and safe from floods. It had shade from the hot sun. It had a good view of the ocean in case a ship passed by. It was easy to protect from animals or enemies. I built a strong fence using wooden stakes and rope. Instead of a door, I made a ladder so I could climb in and pull it up behind me. Now I felt safe at night. I also dug a cave in the rock to store food and gunpowder, so it wouldn't get wet. One day I went hunting and saw goats on the island, but they were too fast to catch. I realized that they couldn't see well above them, so I climbed onto a rock and waited. When they came close, I shot. The goat had a baby, and it followed me all the way home. I wanted to raise it as a pet, but it wouldn't eat. One morning, it lay still, too weak to move. I had no choice. That night, I cried as I ate my only friend. I didn't want to lose track of time, so I carved a calendar on a wooden post. Every day, I made a small mark, and every seventh day, I made a longer mark for Sunday. I also found 3 Bibles on the ship and started reading them. At first, I felt very sad and lonely. I thought, why did this happen to me? But then I reminded myself, I survived while the others did not. I have food, shelter, and tools. There are no wild animals attacking me. The ship brought me everything I need. I told myself I must be thankful. Things could be worse. Now I focused on building a better life on this island.